Hare Krishna. Today we are going to study the first verse of the 6th chapter of Bhagwat Gita as it is. The name of this chapter is Dhyan Yoga and it has 47 verses in total. And today we are going to start with the first verse. Till now, we have studied about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga in Krishna consciousness in the 3rd, 4th and the 5th chapter respectively. These different yogas are the different ways to achieve the main aim of life. And the main aim of life is to become Krishna conscious. And to become Krishna conscious means to know our relationship with Krishna. And having the knowledge of the relationship with Krishna, we are expected to do our prescribed duties. This knowledge is so important for us because we are spirit soul, a part and parcel of Krishna. And if we do not have the knowledge of our relationship, then we will never try to attain liberation from the eternal cycle of birth and death. And the knowledge about God, about His part and parcel, about the nature, time and karma is explained in Bhagwat Gita. And Bhagwat Gita can be read and understood only by the human beings and not by cats, dogs, birds or trees. This is why it is so important for each one of us to read, understand Bhagwat Gita and understand and revive our lost relationship with the Supreme Krishna. For this, these various paths are recommended like the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga and ultimately the topmost Bhakti Yoga. In today's verse, Krishna has clearly explained to us that who is a true sannyasi and yogi. And it becomes so easy for us to take the knowledge from Krishna himself, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is everyone's eternal friend, well-wisher and benefactor. Then we have no doubts or confusion because we are listening straight from Krishna, who is in the form of book Bhagwat Gita. Now let us recite the first verse of the 6th chapter and the name is Dhyan Yoga. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashritah Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yah Sasanyasi Cha Yogi Cha Na Niragne Cha Akriyah. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashritah Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yah Sasanyasi Cha Yogi Cha Na Niragne Cha Akriyah. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashrita Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yah Sasanyasi Cha Yogi Cha Na Niragne Cha Akriyah. The Blessed Lord said, one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life. And he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no work. Krishna says that one who is unattached to the fruits of his work and one who works as if it is his obligatory task only is certainly in the renounced order of life. And he is a true mystic. And the people, those who don't light fire and perform no work, they are not sannyasis or yogis. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashritah Karma Phalam Karyam Karma Karoti Yah Sa Sannyasi Cha Yogi Cha Na Niragni Cha Akri. Now we will read the Anvay given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavo ki jai. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha. Shri Bhagwan said, Anashritaha, without expectations. Karm phalam, the fruit of his action. Karyam, that which should necessarily be done. Karm, work. Karoti, performs. Yah, who. Sah, he. Sannyasi, in the renounced order of life. Cha, and. Yogi, one who is connected. Cha, and. Na, not. Niragnihi, one who ceases activities such as the practice of fire sacrifices. Na, not. Cha, and. Akriyaha, one who performs no bodily work. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Sri Bhagwan said that those who perform their prescribed activities without desiring the results of their actions are actual sannyasis and yogis. And those who simply stop performing fire sacrifices such as Agnihotra Yajna are not sannyasis, and those who merely give up all bodily activities are not yogis. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that people who are engaged in Ashtanga Yoga should not suddenly leave Nishkam Karma Yoga. The process recommended in Ashtanga Yoga is Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharan, Dhyan, and finally Samadhi. And this process is to control the senses and engage the mind and senses to meditate on Paramatma, who resides in the heart. The process of Ashtanga Yoga helps the person to cut off from the sense gratification activities and meditate on Paramatma. When a person is practicing Ashtanga Yoga, then he is advised not to leave the Nishkam Karma Yoga all of a sudden. Why it is said? There is a reason for it. Leaving Nishkam Karma Yoga means stopping all the prescribed work, and it seems like one has taken the sannyas order of life. The sannyas order of life is the last stage, and in Kali Yuga, the sannyas order of life is prohibited. It is not recommended at all for anyone, because a person may have the feeling that there is no permanent happiness in this temporary material world. Then why do anyone need to work? And it is better to go a secluded place and meditate on God. This is not appreciated by Krishna because Arjun wanted to do the same. Arjun wanted to leave the battlefield of Kurukshetra as he thought that what happiness will he get by killing his grandfather, Guru, and his relatives. He wanted to go to Himalayas and meditate on God. This is when Krishna is clarifying to Arjun that a person who leaves his prescribed duties according to the Varnashram Dharma as prescribed in the Vedas is certainly not a sannyasi. Rather, sannyasi is a person who has no interest in the fruits of his actions, but does all his work only as a matter of his obligatory duty and does not have any desire in his heart to enjoy the fruits of his actions. Such a person is truly a sannyasi and a yogi. So this is the definition of a sannyasi and a yogi given by Krishna himself. And if a person does not do his allotted work and simply wears a saffron dress and sits in a place with his eyes half closed, such a person is not approved by Krishna to be true sannyasi or a yogi. A true sannyasi, according to the scriptures, does all his work without being attached to the fruits of the work and doesn't have any desire in his heart to enjoy this material world. So it's very clear that none of us are allowed to leave our prescribed duties which is why the Nishkam Karma Yoga is compulsory for everyone, whether one is practicing Gyan Yoga or Dhyan Yoga. And the real sannyas means doing all work without any desire of the result of the work. And a real yogi is a person who doesn't have any desire to enjoy anything in this material world. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavo ki jai. Now we shall read the purport given by Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada says that in this chapter, Krishna explains that the process of eightfold system is a means to control the mind and the senses. Eightfold system means Ashtang Yoga or Hatha Yoga. Further, Prabhupada says that although the eightfold system is recommended in this chapter, but the Lord emphasizes that the process of Karma Yoga or acting in Krishna consciousness is much easier and better. We have studied about Karma Yoga and Gyan Yoga in the previous chapters, and now Krishna is going to explain about the Dhyan Yoga in this chapter, only for the reason that we can properly understand the various ways which leads one to Krishna consciousness ultimately. The various ways which leads one to Krishna consciousness ultimately is the Gyan Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, and then the Bhakti Yoga. But Karma Yoga is compulsory for everyone. And after understanding all the paths, then we can choose the best path for our progress in Krishna consciousness. But Krishna is saying in today's verse that amongst all the recommended ways, Karma Yoga or working in Krishna consciousness is the easiest for everyone to follow. Srila Prabhupada further says that every person in this material world works for a reason, with the want of something. Some may work to fulfill his or her own requirements of worldly things. Some may work to fulfill the needs of his or her own family members. Further, some may work for society or nation at large. It means that every person who works definitely has some or the other self-interest in it. Either the interest is limited to self or to the family, or the interest is extended to the society or to the nation at large. But this is not the perfection of work. The perfection of work comes when the work is done purely for the happiness of Krishna. This is known as working in Krishna consciousness, which means working with the knowledge of his or her own relationship with Krishna. Now, someone may have this question in their mind and might say that you believe in Krishna, you have liking for Krishna, so you work for the happiness of Krishna. But I will work for my own reason. To answer this question, Srila Prabhupada says that to act in Krishna consciousness is the duty of every living entity, because everyone is constitutionally part and parcel of the Supreme Krishna. Prabhupada explains this with the simple example. Prabhupada says that the different body parts such as eyes, nose, tongue, stomach, hands, legs, etc., they all work unitedly for the satisfaction of the entire body. The limbs of the body do not act for self-satisfaction, but for the satisfaction of the complete body. Similarly, the living entity who acts for the satisfaction of the supreme whole and not for his own personal satisfaction is a perfect sannyasi, a perfect yogi. Srila Prabhupada says that sannyasis sometimes artificially think that they have become liberated from all material duties and therefore they cease to perform Agnihotra Yajna, Agnihotra Yagya is a special type of fire sacrifice performed to please the demigods and goddesses. Here it is said that the sannyasis who stop performing the Agnihotra Yagya, thinking that they are liberated from all material duties, are not actually having no self-interest. Rather, their self-interest is to become one with the Supreme Brahma. Supreme Brahma is the Supreme Jyoti or the impersonal form of the Supreme Brahma, which is popularly known as Nirakar form of the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada says that such a desire is certainly greater than any material desire, but it is not without any self-interest. Similarly, the mystic yogis who practice the yoga system in Ashtanga Yoga with half-open eyes, stopping all material activities, they also desire some satisfaction for their personal self and are actually not without any desire. But a person acting in Krishna consciousness works only for the satisfaction of the Supreme Krishna without any self-interest. Prabhupada says that a Krishna conscious person has no desire for self-satisfaction. His criteria of success is the satisfaction of Krishna, and thus he is the perfect sannyasi or a perfect yogi. So it's very clear that a person in Krishna consciousness who only works for the satisfaction of Krishna and has no desire to get the result of his work, nor does he have any desire in his heart to enjoy this material world. Such a person is a true sannyasi or a yogi. Srila Prabhupada says that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the highest perfectional symbol of renunciation, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself in the form of his devotee. This is how he prays. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagdish kamai, mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad, bhaktir ahetuki tvai. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Krishna, O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, na dhanam, na janam, nor to enjoy beautiful women, na sundari, kavitam va jagadish kamay, nor do I want any number of followers. What I want only is the causeless mercy of your devotional service in my life, birth after birth. Mama janmani janmanishwari, bhavtad bhaktir ahetuki tvai. So this was the prayer given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself and has appeared as his devotee to teach us the process of devotional path. Now I am very sure that it's very clear to each one of us that the person who stops doing his prescribed duties and only wears saffron clothes and sits in a place with half-open eyes is not a sannyasi or a yogi, rather a person who does all his work and never looks at the result and doesn't have any desire to enjoy the fruits is certainly a sannyasi or a yogi. In the first verse of the 6th chapter, Krishna is making us understand that by the process of Gyan and Dhyan, one may become Krishna conscious, but it is not so easy, and the easiest path is by doing Nishkam Karma Yoga. And by practicing Nishkam Karma Yoga, one gradually becomes Krishna conscious, which is the ultimate aim of life. To become Krishna conscious is to know the relationship with Krishna, and with the knowledge of the relationship, when one does all his work, then he attains the highest perfection of life. In the verse number 27 and 28 of the 5th chapter, Krishna has spoken about Ashtanga Yoga, and the entire sixth chapter is the detailed explanation of the Ashtanga Yoga. And it is done so to make us understand about Ashtanga Yoga. Krishna himself says that by Dhyan Yoga also one can become liberated. That is, one can become Krishna conscious. But the easiest process is by acting in Krishna consciousness. I thank Srila Prabhupada. I thank Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Harimohan Das Prabhuji, for explaining to us the most difficult and most secretive knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in such simple way. I thank each one of you. You were with me always when we did till the chapter number 5, and now we have begun the chapter number 6. I request all of you to be with me, to bless me, so that we can together study the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita as it is and learn and understand what Krishna actually wants us to understand. Now we shall meet the next week with the second shlok of the 6th chapter. Till then, watch the video very nicely, share it with others, and keep chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Hare Krishna.